As Goku and the gang returned from the world of Void, an unidentified microorganism managed to hitch a ride on Whisa's robe on their way back to Earth. It then fell off shortly after arrival. A day later, the creature was brought out of its catatonic state after hours of coming into contact with the Earth's atmosphere and grew to the size of a volleyball. The very same day, the creature got the attention of an unsuspecting hiker. After deciding to get a closer look, the hiker's curiosity enticed him to poke it with a stick. In that very instant, the creature lunged and violently attached itself to his arm. The hiker tried to free himself from the creature's grasp as energy and bodily fluids were drained out of him. The hiker slumped over as the creature detached itself. The creature's gelatinous body began to quiver and contort as it took on the shape and appearance of its victim. "Excellent," he gleefully exclaimed. "Now that I've assimilated the genetic material of a native specimen into my being, I can roam this planet undetected. Soon I'll be the strongest in this universe and other universes. Soon no one, not even the Omni King, will stand in the way of Flac." Hours later, in a forest near a mountainous region, a group of bald men dressed in green geese lay dead as the last one among them, battered and bruised, attempts to engage Flac in combat for the last time. Every blow the man dealt out to Flac was absorbed into his body, increasing his power. Flac quickly overpowers the man, grabs him by the neck, and strangles him to death. Flac notices that these men came from the same direction as the Tenshin-style dojo, located up the mountain. Wanting more power, he decides that he'll find what he's looking for in that direction as well. Now being able to leap great distances in a single bound as a result of the power absorbed from his victims, Flac made his way to the dojo. At the dojo, Chaozu was watering the plants in the area, when he suddenly sensed a very strange ki. Flac burst through the ceiling in an attempt to hit Chaozu. Chaozu manages to dodge and retaliates with a ki blast that would have undoubtedly vaporized Flac had he not absorbed it. Chaozu goes on the offensive and is now just barely able to fight evenly with Flac. The fight quickly ends as the impact of Chaozu's punches, plus the energy gained from the blast he absorbed moments ago, turns the tide in Flac's favor. This brief skirmish gets Tien's attention. "Chaozu!" he exclaimed. "You monster! You'll pay for this!" Tien shouted. Flac smiled at him. "Don't hold back," he eerily exclaims. With the energy he absorbed from Chaozu, Flac can now manipulate ki and fly. Flac lunges at Tien and tries to land the first blow, hoping Tien would return the favor. Instead, Tien ducks and grabs Flac by the torso and throws him. Looks like we have a strategist on our hands. If I'm not careful, he'll know what I'm up to, Flac thought to himself as he touched the ground and regained his footing. Flac then tries to fire a ki blast himself, but can't properly control it and ends up destroying half the town in the process. Tien loses his temper at this reckless act and kicks Flac in the head, sending him flying into a mountain. Though in pain, Flac managed to absorb the power from that kick and flies toward Tien. They clash and exchange blows. With each subsequent exchange, it becomes more difficult for Tien to keep up with Flac as he quickly gains the upper hand. Flac delivers a hard punch to Tien's stomach and haymakers him into the ground. Tien jumps out of the way just in time to avoid getting stomped on by Flac. "You don't get it, do you? I've been holding back this whole time, testing my power. If you even hope to get out of this alive, you'll have to hit me with everything you've got." Lying in order to divert suspicion away from his fluctuating power while goading Tien into unknowingly giving him more energy to absorb. Finally coming to terms with the gravity of the situation, Tien, in a last-ditch effort, ascends into the sky above, sprouts 2 extra arms from his back, and puts all 4 of his hands together. "Tri-beam! Ha!" Tien shouted as the massive beam erupted from his hands. Flac remained awestruck as the beam engulfed him with a great kaboom. When the smoke cleared, Flac's ki had completely vanished. All that was left was a giant crater and some rubble. Tien, now exhausted, checks to see if Chaozu is all right. He gives Chaozu and himself a senzu bean in order to recuperate. "Who was that guy, Tien?" asks Chaozu. "I don't know. Whoever he was, He won't be bothering us anymore, Tien replied. Later that evening, out of the rubble at the bottom of a mountain, Flac emerged and momentarily stood, only to drop to his knees from exhaustion seconds later. Despite his injuries, Flac was stronger than ever, but it still wasn't enough. With his newfound powers, he could now sense the ki of every being on the planet. He comes to the realization that he still has a long way to go. After deciding to get some rest, he turns his attention to a new target, Goku.